Sir David the Bard. When I wear this, people say, "What are you doing?" I said, "It's my Halloween costume. I'm trying to be Joseph Smith." Sir David the Bard, coming to you right out of Australia here, Kangaroo City. And, if you've never ridden a kangaroo, well, maybe you have. My second wife did get remarried, so somebody's ridden a kangaroo. Anyway, I don't know how to add to a video. I just did a video just a minute ago about a black teenage girl that disrupted a classroom, and the police officer had to come in and throw her out and drag her out, and it looked like a pretty violent situation. I want to add an addendum. I told you in the other video I was a director of residential treatment facilities, and I had these kids. I had these kids out of Ireland. It's not Ireland. I love dementia. Rhode Island. They're close. Up here, they're real close. Rhode Island, New York, New Jersey. Tough kids. Some tough kids coming out of those areas. And I was given an example. These restraints are so dangerous and so difficult, but also so necessary. Let me tell you, because the most of you that watched me just a few minutes ago on that video go, "Oh, he doesn't know what he's talking about." He don't know what he's talking about. Let me tell you something. I do know what I'm talking about. I was working one day teaching woodshop to a bunch of kids, and this was a white girl. This was not a black girl. This was a white girl, and Vicky was her name, and she was big. God dang, Vicky was probably 220 pounds. She was a big girl, and probably 17. And I was teaching woodshop, and Vicky got upset about something, and these kids, who the hell knows? Everything upsets them. So she picked up a hammer. Now, when you have a girl that is whatever, 5'10", and 220 pounds, 10 pounds, whatever, and she picks up a hammer, you have a tendency to keep an eye on her. What the hell is Vicky going to do? Well, I had to try to get the hammer away from her, and I did. I finally got the hammer away, and then I turned my back, and she went over to the wall that held all the tools and pulled the entire wall down on the classroom. Saws, hammers, chisels, everything falling all over the rest of the students. Watch the video before and listen to what I'm telling you now. Vicky's now dangerous. I think she was dangerous with the hammer, but I'm lenient. I don't take kids down unless I'm positive, and then I take them down. So I'm starting to yell at her, trying to get control of her, and she runs out of the building. Well, that ain't the end of the world, running out of the building. But she went out and got into the van. We called it a carry-all in the East, a van. I was a younger staff in my late 20s. I'd left the keys in the damn van. El stupido. And I realized when she got in, locked the doors, I couldn't get her. And then she looked down and saw the keys. These situations can get out of hand so damn quickly, you can't believe it. If you're going to take a kid down in a restraint, you better do it quick, right, and right now. You make that, it's just like a policeman pulling the trigger. You've got to make that decision right now. Well, I'm screaming at her, pounding on the window, trying to get her to come out. She won't come out. Then she reaches down, she starts the engine. Jesus Christ. Now I've got this crazy person in a van that I left the key in. My fault. I've never left the key again. Never. Once was enough for me. And so I decide, stupidly, and this is why police officers sometimes can be a little quick on the trigger. This is a girl that is out of control. How do I not become aggressive? How do I not become overreactive? My adrenaline is going like crazy. She's going to kill herself and maybe some other people, drive through a building, ruin several $1,000 van, and get me fired. All those things are certainly going through my mind. So I'm a hero. I get in front of the van, and I'm doing one of these. She's got the van on the floor. The engine's just screaming. She's got the van on the floor. I'm saying, don't go, don't go. Yeah, right. She went. She popped it into reverse rather than drive. The van jumped 20 feet backwards. If she'd hit drive, I'd be a dead man. Now I'm pissed. That's what happens to policemen. Now I'm pissed. This girl had no respect for my life and my safety. Zero. She would have killed me in a second and never given it a second thought. And that's what these policemen face every damn day in these minority neighborhoods. Every day they face it. They may face it once or twice a day. I only faced it once, but I have a good memory. The van stalled. I lifted the hood and pulled the ignition wires out of the distributor so it wouldn't start again. Now, I had her in the van. She decided to run, so she unlocked the door. Out she comes and she's running, and we're on gravel. I took that girl down, face down, on the gravel. Face down, right in the gravel. Cuts everywhere, all over her. Sat on her. Yelled at her. Disciplined her. Told her. I didn't have handcuffs. I'm not a policeman. If I'd had handcuffs, I would have probably cuffed her, and I probably would have hit her with the baton. So I have some sympathy for these policemen. They are not getting paid that much for the risk that they're taking. And when you go into these kinds of neighborhoods with these kinds of young people or adults, they have no respect for the law. They hate you. They hate themselves. They hate everything that's going on, and you're going to be the brunt of it. So when you say something to them, that's just one of these, or with their mouth, fuck you. It's a hard, hard job, and it's very easy to criticize people who have to pull the trigger, whether it's a restraint, whether it's an arrest, whether it's a killing. It's very, very hard. I have a lot of training, but no one ever told me about the keys in the van. I learned that on my own. And I also learned on my own, don't stand in front of it. They really will put it in gear. I didn't think she would. I was wrong. So anyway, I'm telling you from my personal experience, these officers have a tough, tough road every day. And I'm telling you, these girls are stronger, usually, than the boys, more difficult to restrain. And I'm going to be honest with you. When I had her face down in the gravel, I put my hand on the back of the head. Eat some of those rocks! Eat some of those rocks! I should have done that. That was excessive force. I shouldn't have done that. That was excessive force, looking back on it. But in the heat of the situation of almost being killed and now capturing the perpetrator, I really would have liked to just beat the crap out of her, but I just made her eat a couple of rocks. It was wrong. I shouldn't have made her eat the rocks, but you know what? I was weak. I was scared. I was upset. She'd ruined my classroom. She'd endangered other students. She stole the truck. She almost ran me over. And a little bit of rock eating. Is it right? Is it wrong? I can't justify it. All I can say is that I was that upset. I haven't been that upset before. I've never hurt anybody in a restraint beyond restraining them. but I did her. That's the only one, first one and last one. I've learned now to get them down on the ground before they get into the truck. So anyway, confession, I'll tell the bishop. He'll take my temple recommend, but I need to still pay my tithing. That's the thing. You've got to still pay your tithing, even if he takes your temple recommend. So anyway, I'm praying that I won't be upset like that again. Pele ale, true order prayer, 3 times. Oh God, hear the words of my mouth. Old penalties, don't cut my throat out, don't cut my heart out, don't cut my stomach out. In the name of the second token of the Melchizedek priesthood, the patriarchal grip, or sure sign of the nail, is health in the navel, marrow in the bones, strength in the loins and in the sinews, power in the priesthood, be upon me and upon my posterity, through all generations of time and throughout all eternity. He always wants to say goodbye. I don't. You know what goodbye is in Reformed Egyptian? Ukamuki, that's what they say in Reformed Egyptian. So only me and Joseph Smith know when the Rock wants to say goodbye. This bar's gone.